I'm wondering your thoughts, if it matters even who the candidate is on the Democratic side, or will this race be decided by President Trump's approval ratings and whomever scores last, as it were, in Washington?
Well, certainly Trump's approval ratings will have a lot to do with it, and he is not popular in Maine. And he's lost it repeatedly, though he did get that one electoral vote from the more conservative congressional district in Maine. They split their votes. But look, let's see who the Democrats pick. They're up to about 10 candidates, either announced or seriously considering it. So you know one thing for sure, the vote's going to be split. And given what Maine Democrats have shown us recently, I don't think you can assume that they're all going to join back together and sing Kumbaya. So if there are divisions in the party after this disaster, this fiasco with Platner, clearly Susan Collins would be favored in that case. If Democrats can come back together and enthusiastically back whichever candidate is chosen, then they have a chance given the underlying fundamentals in Maine.
Well, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this shotgun convention that's being put together. They've got less than 3 weeks to do it, and we got candidate qualification requirements today. They need to go get signatures, 500, at least 50 from no fewer than 8 counties. And Maine is a big state that requires a lot of driving to get all this done, plus any additional signatures totaling 1,000 to qualify for the nominating convention. They also put out the form to actually sign up to file to be a candidate, Larry, and it's got an essay question on it, no longer than 300 words. Tell us why you should be the candidate. This is like something out of grade school. It's got like 10 lines. I need my crayon to write this here. I don't know if they're going to use AI to fill this out, Larry, or if this is simply an attempt to make people feel like it's a credible process.
Well, they don't want to repeat what happened with Kamala Harris, obviously, with Joe Biden stepping aside at the last minute, making it impossible, really, for the Democrats to have an actual selection process. So they want this to be a selection process. That form makes me think that they're going to be issuing grades and that this will go on the permanent record card. I don't know that it's the way to proceed, given everything that they've had happen, though I do think they're wise to make sure they make a distinction with what happened with Kamala Harris.
That said, Democrats aren't going to have a lot of time to identify their candidate. There's going to be a surge of money into Maine on both sides here, right? Republicans, I can only assume, are going to start adding cash to this race to try to shut down whatever campaign is about to emerge.
And, you know, the media markets in Maine are relatively cheap, certainly compared to big cities. So it doesn't take that much to buy out all the available advertising space. And I suspect that's going to happen. Or maybe the shows will cut out minutes one way or another so they can make more money. But, yeah, I wouldn't want to live in Maine coming up for this fall. It's just going to be a deluge of TV ads.
I believe that. And are you of the conventional wisdom that if Democrats do not win Maine, the rest of this doesn't matter? They're not going to win the Senate.
Well, there's a path without Maine, but it's a much more difficult path. Maine was supposed to be the easy pickup for Democrats, and they've got another big problem coming in Michigan on August the 4th. They've got a Senate primary there, and it's been very divisive. And again, they're going to face the difficulty of joining back together when the candidates don't agree on some basic things. So good luck.
Boy, okay, so that said, where are the swing states tracking in your crystal ball? And do Democrats have a resonant message? Some would say it's socialism. The president would tell you it's communism. But is there more than a never Trump message for Democrats that you're sensing this cycle?
It's really about Trump. It's about Iraq. It's about affordability. But it's a negative message in the sense that they're running against the Trump administration. They're running against the policy results of Donald Trump. Whether that's enough, it probably will be in some states. And what's interested me is the easy ones. That is Michigan, which already is Democratic, and Maine, which is pretty heavily Democratic. They should be the easy ones, and they're turning out to be tough. Some of the difficult ones, like Ohio and Iowa and Alaska, actually seem more possible than some of the easy ones.
Wow.
So it's going to be another crazy election season, and that's good for you and me, Joe.
Well, I guess there's some kind of job security here Larry, we'll, I guess, live by it, die by it. But I'm curious your thoughts on this move by the president today. This isn't making as much news as I thought it would. To clean out the Election Assistance Commission, he fired the 2 Democrats and let the Republican on the panel resign, which means there are no commissioners on this panel that helps to support state and local officials conduct their elections. Will it make a difference in November?
I've heard a lot of theories on this, and one place where it will make a difference is that commission did help many states and localities improve their voting process, better machines, better calculating equipment, and so on. And none of that money, I assume, is going to be available. So it's disturbing in some ways. In other ways, it may eliminate one of the options that are out there to make things more complicated. So I don't know what will actually happen with it. It probably won't be significant, but there are many suspicions that this is part of some gigantic Trump plan to take over the elections. I doubt it, but I'm open to all possibilities.
Well, sure gets the tongues wagging up here. And, we heard a lot about conspiracies as soon as that headline broke, Larry. I see you're paying $3.76 in the state of Virginia. That's where I live, too. Maybe you're less out in Charlottesville. But I'm wondering how you're factoring in. I think you said Iraq earlier. I'm guessing that you meant Iran. The price of gas and where that needs to be by Labor Day, if not lower than this.
Yeah, I just addressed a delegation from Iraq, so I apologize for that. But yes, for Iran, this war is unpopular, but it really has to do with gas prices and troops on the ground, although I doubt that's going to happen. Clearly, the news is not as good as Republicans had hoped it would. So we'll just have to watch and see. But affordability for other things is probably more central to this campaign. And that's what the Trump administration has to worry about. Why aren't the costs coming down? Why are they continuing to go up? You know some of the answers. I know some of the answers, but I don't know that the average American voter knows those answers and is going to be crazy about the answers.
Well, isn't that the truth? If I got in the car and drove down to pay you a visit, Larry, I'd go by a lot of data centers in Northern Virginia on my way. And I'm just hearing more and more about this all the time, to where even some Republicans are now backing the idea of a moratorium or taking some kind of a NIMBY stance, despite the president's embrace of AI technology broadly. In a state like Virginia or anywhere around the country where this is a trend, how big is this data center issue going to be in deciding elections?
It's becoming bigger. I'm surprised because I thought, at least in the beginning of this debate, that it would simply fade away and it would affect a relatively small number of people. It's not. It's really more widespread. And I just know from the traffic I'm getting, people writing and calling about it, complaining about it, that it's on voters' minds, and they generally vote what's on their minds.
Fascinating. Housing bill is apparently going to become law tonight, Larry, without the president's signature. I don't know that was in Schoolhouse Rock, but that's how it works. It's been sitting there for 10 days, and unless he vetoes it, it's going to be a law. To what extent is this a missed opportunity for the president himself and those in his party who wanted to take a victory lap?
It's a big missed opportunity. Really, Joe, this doesn't make any sense at all. It actually is a bill that does a lot of good, and it brings the two parties together, exactly what everyone's been accusing Trump of not being able to do. He could have really made some hay on this. But once again, he's hitting, the Save America Act, pass the Save America Act. The Save America Act is not going to pass. The votes aren't there. Just give it up or mention it in other contexts. You're cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Wow. I guarantee you, though, we're going to see lawmakers trumping this around. Well, maybe I should use a different word.
Yes.
They're going to be promoting this on the stump for the rest of the year, right?
Absolutely. And they should. They actually accomplished something.